Hey guys, this is Patrick here. We're in Italy with your latest YCS champion, Sam Pedigo. How's it feel, man?
Feels pretty good. I think it's still sinking in.
And what'd you play today?
I played GEARGIA.
Nice. What'd you play that?
Honestly, I'm just tired of dragons, and I didn't want to test as much as I used to. And so for the past 2 months, I haven't really been playing as much Yu-Gi-Oh! So I decided to go with something that I was more comfortable with and craft it to beat dragons.
Awesome. Let's see the deck.
Alright, so start off with the most obvious part, 3 armors. Then 3 more armors.
Alright.
And this is unusual, I think. 2 accelerator.
Why'd you play 2?
I just don't think you really needed them for most of the combos. And you know, me and you, we're all about consistency. And with all of these guys, with all the level 3s, and then you know the tuners on top of that,
right.
It was just it kind of clogged. It gave you one of these and one of these, and it was difficult to work with.
Alright, that makes sense.
And these guys, I guess I'll just pull those out now. With the 3 GEARGIA gears.
Right.
I don't think it was actually dead this weekend there very much. And I just emerald it back in most cases if it was. Although there was one time where I activated emerald so I can make this live, and then I drew one of these guys on my 1 card. So that was disappointing, but I was still able to pull that one out. It's just too powerful not to max out.
Yeah, that card's insane. It's like a trap version of Rescue Rabbit.
Exactly. Just instant Gigant when you don't even have to use your normal summon or anything. And actually, while I'm on this, I'll go ahead and put the Call of the Haunteds here.
They're essentially monsters.
Yeah, I've used 3 in all of my other GEARGIA decks, or I've used a lot of them. But on this one, it was kind of the same logic with Accelerator, with more emphasis on this. You know, and the lack of synergy between them, I went ahead and went down to 2 instead of the old 3.
Okay.
And then the classic tuners. 2 Watchdog, 1 Strategist. That's all you really need, especially with this guy, since he's a Watchdog in himself. You can tribute him off to get him.
Is it standard to play 2 of this one and 1 of this one?
Yeah.
Okay. And why is that?
This one, he has the combo with armor, but you want to have these guys so that you can go Beret, Beredo, and have another 8, so that you just have the variety of all 3.
Okay.
And also, this guy is a little bit more important now, especially since you can get it with this.
Right.
So if you have him engraved and you activate this and you get this and this, then it's just basically a level 8 synchro, or you know the standard level rank 4 exceed.
All right.
A card that I've always bashed in the past is Birdman, but I feel like in this version he's a lot more explosive. Like the combos with MK2 and Birdman are just ridiculous. And there's 3 MK2s, plus there's the old ones with Accelerator and so forth. And you really just needed the extra backup. Say you go off, then dragons, they're able to just get over it. So you wanted to be able to have, maybe if you could set it up an MK2 and a Birdman in hand ready to make a big eye or something like that.
All right.
I also played 1 Redux. They're able to just get over it. So you wanted to be able to have, maybe if you could set it up an MK2 and a Birdman in hand ready to make a big eye or something like that.
All right.
I also played 1 Redux.
Why only 1?
Well, I thought a lot of the value with the Redux was just being able to bring them back. Say if you're playing against dragons and they have skill train, you just bring them back and wall for 3,000. And if you want to reuse them, then you just special summon them and let them bounce for the hands. And you really don't want to draw multiples. you just have weird hands. It goes back to the logic with the MK2s and the accelerators and then the redox. You don't want too many weird hands.
One of keep it consistent. I know you're from Texas. You like them.
I know you have that suspicion about it. 3 Max C's, pretty obvious.
That's not a one of.
Dragon Hate, no.
We need that one.
This is probably the deck that I've had the most 3-ofs. And actually I cited this out a lot. I used to run Lavabo Chain, but I didn't really have space, so it wasn't as good as it used to be. I also used to run Draco Sack, didn't have space.
No crazy combos with adding hand traps to hand?
I felt like they were just one more.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. 3 Upstart Goblins. You can talk about this if you want.
Upstarts. 37 cards.
Yep, consistency. And actually, really, in most cases, I was just using the Max C's to get to my traps. So it's basically 34 cards. I was using this more so just an upstart against dragons.
Yeah.
So that I could see my armors and see everything else. Let's see. Speaking of the traps, warning, obvious, compulsory. I actually took out the 3rd call, the Haunted, for the compulsory, just so I'd have more responses to an already established fields.
Yeah, I like that.
And then here comes the fun part, the degenerate part.
The very degenerate part.
That you and me hate about what I did here. 3 goes a match in the main deck.
Yes.
1 Soul Drain in the main deck. And 3 Iron Wall.
Awesome. Talk about this.
To go with the 3 Max C's. I mean, I tested. Originally, it was all on the side deck. And then at one point, I played 1 Iron Wall because I had 39 cards. And then I just kept having a hard time against dragons because of returns. And so I was just like, well, if I'm going to play so many dragons during an event, and I did, I played probably about 10 of them, I lost count, then I might as well just make my 40 cards what I would use against dragons, and then side versus everything else. You talk about this. As a preview to your article.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of cards in this deck that are just very degenerate.
More on the side to come.
Yeah, don't you worry. Like, all of these cards don't let your opponent play the game that you're trying to play, and I don't think that's good for the game. I'll probably have an article talking more about this, and like, Sam is the case study for it. Yeah. And it's really just a perfect example. Maining 7, the side deck is even more of them. Like, it's crazy. But like, all of these cards don't let your opponent play.
Yeah, there were a couple times where after the match, I just apologized to my opponent. I was like, I'm sorry, you couldn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just, you're playing the deck, and I'm playing the deck to beat it. But yeah, like I said, the reason I played Gears was just because I hadn't been playing, and this was the last YCS that I expected to go. I played Gears was just because I hadn't been playing, and this was the last YCS that I expected to go this far. And it just worked out because of cards like these. It's degenerate. It's just degenerate. And the last 3 cards of the deck, 3/7 Tools of the Bandit.
Talk about that one.
Well, you have Trap Stun became popular lately, and that hurts these guys.
Right.
So 7 tools, they stop Trap Stun, and not just that, but you have MST, and you hit their back row, and it'd be a Wing Blast, or maybe they have multiple back rows, and you didn't want to hit one of them, but you wanted to make sure that they couldn't have the Wing Blast go off. Well, this stops that while not, making a 50-50 risk, or even worse. And more so, when they did have the Wing Blast and they hit the Iron Wall, the Trap Stun was an option, but if I have Trap Stun and Iron Wall and they try and Wing Blast it, they're going to get what they wanted out of it anyway.
Right.
So yeah, that was more or less the reason for the 7 tools.
So the main deck, 34 cards?
Yeah, pretty much 34 card main deck. against dragons, I did actually side out a couple cards. I usually took those out for giant hands.
Nice. Is it going in the extra deck?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I can play it after this. I think the format's just, that's the problem with these cards. I think the format, like St. Louis, I don't know, man. Like I could see Evil Swarms just main decking all these cards. Again,
don't give them ideas.
Yeah, what are dragons gonna do? It's just gonna be dragons and kind of, a more or less shoddy mirror match, or I don't know, man. Like it's just not gonna be good. But I sided 2 MSTs in for the stuff that they put in after game 1, like skill drain and all that. I kept the 7 tools because Stardust Dragon's a problem. Let's see, so put these back. So I did side the 3rd MST.
Okay.
Just didn't put them in against dragons. And there were 3 DNA surgeries for spellbooks, another Degenerate, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh card. 3 light mirrors, another Degenerate, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh card. This time
just for Constellars?
Constellars and Bujins.
Okay, yeah.
And I think 1 Bujin did top, so there's that. Another Degenerate card, 3 rivalries for Constellars, Evil Swarms, whatever else. And then I'd have 3 Fiendish Chains, and that was for Evil Swarms and just pretty much any rogue decks where I needed to take out all of my Iron Balls and my Maxis and my Soul Drain and Gozen Match. I needed something generic to put in.
That makes a lot of sense. I made that mistake in Boston where I mained Maxis and didn't side other real traps.
Yeah.
And when I needed to take out the Maxis, I just didn't have much defense against the cards that against the decks that Maxi wasn't good against.
Yeah.
So Phoenix Chain and the side seems really good.
Alright, so that's the main deck and the side deck. The extra deck, then mains for the MK2 plays. Maestro, I don't think I actually brought him out the entire weekend. There was one point where I was considering it. Emerald, he pretty much recycles the MK2s, that's his main job. I'll also use him just to try and draw into a Degenerate card, or a second one, because a lot of the times I didn't feel safe with 1, that's why I played 7 in the main deck. With 1, that's why I played 7 in the main deck. Two of these guys, obvious. Pearl, he did things like attack over Opion, but his main job was Stardust and Skill Drain. Especially, you brought up the point of Crazy Box before, and that's something that I had tried in the past, but there were actually situations where I had Gozen match up too, and he's an Earth. I played 3 Berets, that's all my level 7s. No Black Rose. I just feel like Black Rose just didn't come up enough. And if it did, I was probably going to lose that game anyway. I didn't usually win the game that I Black Rose. And so on some combos, especially like the Birdman combos, you might use 2 of these, and then you have an MK2 in hand, so that you can do that one combo. I should probably show that. So if you have, say, this guy and this guy engraved, then you can summon MK2.
Alright, there's clear.
Activate his effects. This is the graveyard. Get Arsenal. Activate Arsenal's effects. Get GEARGIA, the original one. Activate his effects. And then get him.
Okay.
And you have an instant beret.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was important to have plenty of those in the extra deck. And you could do the same thing with Black Rose, but I just found him more important for the battle position change and just more versatile. Burrito, I only played 1. I didn't really think you ever needed more than 1. Stardust, protect the Iron Wall. Scrap Dragon, Colossal Fighter. I actually don't think I brought him out, but there are times where you're trying to OTK maybe, and you hit a Crimson Blader or a Blaster, or you take their Crimson Blader. Speaking of Crimson Blader, and the final card is Big Eye. No Draco Sack, because I mean, if you have double beret, then you probably don't really need Draco Sack anyway. But this guy's a game changer, especially with Redux.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say thanks to everybody who's supported me, said congratulations, etc. But most importantly, everybody who's been there before I finally got the championships and came to Italy. Billy, you, Scott, everybody else. The list is just too long, and now we have a crowd. So probably wrap it up.
Rodrigo Tavares.
Probably wrap it up, but
all right.
I came, I saw, I conquered.
Yeah, that's right. Check out. You're gonna do a tournament report.
Yep.
All right.
Tournament report to come at some point.
You have already won one YCS in Europe. You are still missing 2 back.
All right.
So you have to come back.
We will come back.
Yeah, you will be.
I will come back.
You have to win here.
Hi guys,
All
how
right.
are you doing?
Good. All right. Thank you guys.